Adman from Bangladesh, he's asking a question about the ruling of Madrasah, which means school in Arabic. So they have this school that teaches the children how to memorize the Quran, and it is noticeable that many of the teachers beat the children as a form of reprimanding them when they don't memorize or do their homeworks. And this usually leads to people fleeing the circles of memorizing the Quran altogether and not being interested. So he says, is this permissible or not? Akhi, we cannot answer such a question because every community has its laws and regulations. Every country has its laws and regulations. So for example, if you do this in Europe or in the West, they would consider this to be child abuse, and it's a felony, it's a crime, regardless of the reason. This is why they don't have this notion of reprimanding children physically, which is part of our religion in some aspects. So the Prophet himself said, when the children are 7, instruct them to pray. And when they're 10, beat them so that they would pray. Meaning that 3 years of each and every day, 5 times, pray, 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 without reprimanding. But after 3 years, if the child continues not to pray, then Islam orders the parent, the father, to beat his child, to reprimand him, not to abuse him or to injure him or to inflict damage physically to him. So this is part of a religion. But if in these kafir countries, you're not allowed to do this, you have to refrain or migrate, because they'll take your child and give it to a Christian or an atheist family, and you may never see your child back again. This is too extreme. That's why we have drug junkies, addictions there. Children fleeing their homes when they're 15 or 16. Girls running away and staying for a couple of weeks with whomever they have no control. And when she comes back pregnant, they have no control, and hands off. They can't do anything. On the other side, you have some Muslim countries or non-Muslim countries where the children are considered to be a doormat. You can step on them, you can clean your shoes on them, you can throw them away, no problem. So they are abused and they are tortured and they are forced into labor when they're children. And this is not part of Islam. So Islam is the middle path. It tells you you are entitled to reprimand your child or the children under your custody. So if the teacher is someone of knowledge and someone who is a father himself and someone who does not beat the children to vent his oppressed emotions or anger or fits of rage, rather he does what is considered to be nothing compared to what's happening, and with the aim to bring the child back to Quran circles so that he would learn and benefit himself and benefit the ummah. There is a big difference. So it depends, akhi, on the culture, on the community, on the laws of the country, and it depends on the teacher himself. Is he trustworthy, or is he just a control freak who, whenever the child looks left, he slaps him? No, I would slap this teacher because he's not fit to teach. I need someone to teach my child to be knowledgeable, to be tolerant, to be a fatherly figure, and I trust him when whatever he does with my child. This is why when I went to school, in elementary school, my father used to say to the teachers, you take the meat and bring me back the bones. Meaning that you do whatever you want. I just want a man. And all of our generation grew up to be men. Not afraid of the teachers, but respecting them. Because we had the best of teachers who taught us how to be men. Though they used to beat us every now and then, those who would make mistakes, but nevertheless, they had a good intention and we were good recipients to whatever good they had given us. Nowadays, it's a different story, and I hope this answers your question.